when I'm getting ready for huge homilies, like Sacred Triduum, sometimes I call my mom a few days before and I test a few good pieces on her, and I want to see what she says. She's always honest with me. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. So this past week, I called her and I gave her a few pieces that I'm going to share with you. And my mom started crying. So I think it's pretty good. She just looked at me because we were FaceTiming, and she said, "Witold, I wish, our priest at my parish would give homilies like you do." I'm like, "Oh, Mom, thank you." So it gives me some kind of confidence. And I had a few days to get ready, and being in the midst of getting ready for the Sacred Triduum, I didn't really honestly have much time to feel that that's the homily. So even this morning, I'm like, I still have like 5 hours to go. No, you have to get ready with this, check the church, and then you are here. I'm like, I have a few notes, but I don't know. So I was driving from St. Louis to Lourdes. It's just 1 mile. And I'm asking God, I'm sorry, but you need to help me again. You help me every Sunday with my homilies, but I really need you. I will have a lot of people here in this church. Maybe people who don't practice their faith. So the message should be pretty strong, the message of love. So I need you. I need you to help me. And my mom shared with me one more piece. She said, "Yes, Witold, when you preach, don't preach about the theology, a huge one behind everything, in the readings we can read about. If you really go deeper in as a biblical scholar, you will find very, very clear the message that Jesus is the king. Jesus is the high priest." And, the first reading from Isaiah. Hebrews explains about Jesus being a high priest. And of course, in the gospel, which is pretty long, from John, which is the most developed gospel out of 4, John really shows that Jesus is the king. That's the coronation of the king. But when I asked my mom about the basic gesture on Good Friday, which in a few minutes is going to happen, that we'll adore the crucifix, right? I will be the first one, and the rubrics say that the priest should remove his shoes. So I will do it. And I asked my mom, "Do you know why I'm supposed to do it?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, so let me explain. Do you remember the story of Moses and the burning bush? Do you? Yeah. Do you know what she said? No. You are the mother of the priest. You go to the church almost every day, and you don't know Catholicism 101? It's like, "No, I don't know. Mom, this is the basic story." When Moses saw the burning bush, God said, "Take off your sandals, because that's the ground that is holy." So the crucifix is God is showing himself to us. I, as a priest, have to remove my shoes to approach it. And so it got me into thinking, I don't want to go into the biblical, details about this reading into the gospel, and of course the 2 before that. But let's talk about maybe Catholicism 101. I think it speaks better than going into the details of biblical scholarship. So here is what I think. The basic message that I think everyone went through at some point. Have you ever had your heart broken? You don't have to be a Christian to get this. Broken heart. Broken heart. When we think about broken hearts, I think it always goes back to relationship. Relationship could be with your ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, a child, a friend. A broken heart means that someone betrayed you. Someone cheated on you. Someone whom you trusted. Someone whom you loved said no to this relationship, said no to this love. This is a broken heart. I've experienced this just once in my lifetime, before the seminary when I was dating. This beautiful girl whom I was supposed to propose next month said no. That was the darkest moment in my life. So I understand what it means to have a broken heart. But it goes even deeper when we think, yes, about marriages. If your spouse cheated on you, if maybe your child doesn't want to talk to you anymore, if the really good friend, maybe the best friend ever, did something, it's broken-hearted. It is. Jesus died on the cross because of the broken heart. Not the suffocation, which was the purpose of crucifixion. That was the goal. You die by not being able to breathe. But Jesus died after 6 hours on the cross, which that's what the Pilate was surprised. Oh, that was quick. That was quick. And the proof that Jesus died of having a broken heart is water and blood which flowed from his side. If you ask any doctor, he will tell you, yeah, this is the proof. This is a scientific proof. But Jesus died because of the broken heart. Broken heart. Jesus knows what it means to suffer. Before coming here to Lourdes this afternoon, I saw Father Sean in the kitchen, because he is at St. Louis today. And he saw something that I printed out for myself. That's an image, but you can Google actually. When Mel Gibson, who, as you know, created The Passion of Christ, there is a meme, a really famous meme, when he sits as a director in his chair, and the actor, Jim, who plays Jesus, sits next to him. And so he's talking to him, how he should do the next scene. And so Jim, the actor who plays Jesus is, looks like Jesus on Good Friday, covered in blood, the crown of thorns, everything is just covered in blood. And then Mel Gibson explains something to him. Many people took this image and they said, this is me explaining to Jesus how my life is difficult. So Mel Gibson is totally fine, right, saying something to Jesus. Jesus just like listening, covering blood. Oh yeah, life is difficult, I know. It is. God understands. Isaiah, the first reading, says that. He suffered so much, people couldn't recognize him. People couldn't recognize him. When on the cross, Jesus is saying the last 7 words. The last one is, of course, it is finished. I've accomplished my mission. But before that, he says, I first. Mother Teresa of Calcutta always says, that's what she wrote even in her diary. But when Jesus said, I first, it really meant I first for you, for your love. Jesus when was dying on the cross, he had you in his heart. You. Jesus understands what it means to suffer. He really does. Christianity itself is the cross. I'm not saying it's easy. It's the cross. And the cross is I crossed out. That's Christianity. I crossed out. So today, when you approach Jesus, who died for you, don't think about like the whole world, but just like you. He did this for you. He had you in his heart. He was thinking about you when he was on the cross. When he said, I first, it's like, yes, I want you. I want you. I want you to be saved. I want you to be saved. Oh, there is this famous song associated with Good Friday. Yes, were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? And were you there where they laid him in the tomb? Were you there? You're here. This is good. This is Good Friday because you are here. And he's dying for you. And Jesus understands the meaning of suffering, the sacrificial love. So yes, when I was driving to Lourdes, I said to myself, I'm not going to even listen to the radio at this point because I want to spiritually get ready for the liturgy. And I was about to turn off the radio when this song came out, which actually helped me a lot with the message. It's a Christian song, and I really like it. So the author explains the suffering and how Jesus is faithful. He stays next to him because he understands. God, like with Mel Gibson, yeah, I know what it means to suffer. I went through this. So this is what this song says. It's been a long year. It almost took me down. I swear. Life was so good. I'm not so sure we knew what we had. I will never be the same man. I will never feel like I felt before. It's been a hard year. It almost took me down. I think we can all think about ourselves. I've had a hard time finding the blue in the skies above me. And if I'm keeping it real, I've been half faking the happy they see. I may look like the same man, but I'm half the man I was. It's been a hard year. It almost took me down. In my darkest hour, you met me. So quietly, so gently. You said you would never leave. And you stood by your word. So quietly, so gently. In all my pain, you met me. You said you would never leave. And you stood by your word. Because when my world broke into pieces, you were there faithfully. When I cried out to you, Jesus, you made a way for me. I may never be the same man, but I'm a man who still believes. When I cried to you, Jesus, you were there faithfully. And you are here faithfully today with him because he died for each one of you. Think about this. He died out of broken heart for you.